everybody, this video is going to be, I don't know, not really a tutorial, but I've had people who are friends and then in our Facebook group kind of, oh, you see my puppy in the background. Anyhow, sorry, easily distracted. Ask about kind of what is Ravelry, how do you use Ravelry, and I do know that a lot of people in the fiber community, like it's pretty split between people that use the internet a lot, and then I'm in the local Spinners Guild, I'm their web person, so I know that it's also a lot of people who are too busy spinning or knitting or whatever to like homesteaders, that sort of thing, that are not on the internet so much, so where the rest of us are talking about things that make sense to us, everybody else might not get. So I was making this video to help out a friend, and I figured everybody else might like to see it too. So anyhow, this is going to be kind of a, what is Ravelry? How do I use Ravelry? And how to, especially if you've got like art yarn or handspun yarn, like how I use their pattern search feature to kind of figure out when you have like a weird amount of something, like what to do with it. So that's what this is going to be. So I hope it's helpful. Okay. So, first things first, this is Ravelry. This is the homepage, and this is how you spell it because the website is Ravelry.com. And I personally have a mental block against how to spell Ravelry, so that's how you spell it. So anyhow, what it is it's like a big kind of social network / search engine for the fiber community, which is pretty awesome. And I will, I have mixed feelings on some of the way things go on Ravelry, so this is my personal opinion, so not meaning to get anybody's panties in a bunch about anything. So, if you have never been to Ravelry, you would want to join now, and then it's pretty much like anything else, like you put in, email or what have you, and they'll walk you through that. But this is for our site, so I'm just going to hit login. And then, hopefully, oh look, the internet's being fast today. So anyhow, this is kind of their main page. I honestly never pay too much attention to their main page because I'm busy. But they do have, they put kind of stuff that's relevant, like patterns or, new things. So Ravelry you can really make as big or as not big as you want it to be. I don't use it for like socializing at all, really. Like even before we were a business account, like that just kind of wasn't my jam. What I mainly use it for, and like I said, you can set up, like I said, over here is like my notebook. So you can save things in here. So like projects, and y'all are going to see some like really old things of mine because I have not updated it. Like this was a sweater I did a knit along with some friends when we lived in Washington, and so the pattern name is Postgrad, and then this is, pictures. So here, I think I actually did a good job of filling this one out. So you can, and I'll kind of show you this. The name is Postgrad, the designer was Alicia Plummer, it was knitting, I made it, and you can kind of plug in, and it is good because if you start like knitting or crocheting a lot, people will be like, oh my god, I love that. What was the pattern for that? And then you can't remember. Like you think you're going to remember, but you totally don't remember. So that's where doing this is helpful. And I put in here, oh look, I was actually on top of things. So I put in here that I liked it, but I felt like it was not fitting me so good through the shoulders, but that's just kind of a personal problem I have with most cardigan style sweaters. So anyhow, you can fill out, like personal preferences for like, I liked this, but I want to do it different. You can put in what brand or type of yarn you use. And then you can add pictures, of course. So that's kind of what and I guess that's 100. Like I said, you can really, if you're into doing that sort of thing, you can get super involved in like updating this and putting all the little everything in there and what needles you used, and I mean, so if that's your thing, like you can go to town on this. And the reason that that's nice is because, see, if you click on this main pattern, this is the pattern like site where I bought the pattern. So that's what the sweater looks like when the designer makes it. It's very pretty. I love this sweater. And so anyhow, like I said, I'll show you more on this there. But the reason that that's nice that you share it is if you click up here on projects, like if you're considering making this project, you can see all the other people's projects. So you can kind of go through here and be like, oh, that person did it in 3 colors. Or, oh, this person, like in my case, used Handspun for the collar. That's cool. Or, this person looks plus size and I'm plus size. Let's see how that looks on them, you know. So it really, for me, but any other like small, there's lots of small like fiber business people. So that's what's in mine. And like I said, I do have mixed feelings on how Ravelry does some things. As you can see, it's kind of an analog looking site. I entered all of my stuff in when I did this with, you know, the way that it would make sense, like on my website for like single ply, double ply, you know, like kind of individual yarn types. And I may go in here and try to make it make sense again, but the Ravelry moderators apparently didn't like how I did it because I had too many different like types. So they're the ones that combined these into these weird categories that don't really make any sense. So that is, that's kind of my, like this says bulky weight 2-ply, and like that is not bulky weight 2-ply. So please don't think I'm insane or any other small business that might be on there. Like I said, Ravelry kind of did that because they didn't like that I had too many categories or something. So I may, and then it honestly kind of made me irritated, and I did not get back on and try to fix it for a while. But I may, if enough of you are interested in this video, get on here and actually try to make my own listings make sense. So that is like I said, just so that you can link yarn to like what project you had or your stash. Like if you have, like I said, I'm just using me for an example, but you know, another small indie dyer, like if you have a lot of our yarn, you know, you could then link in your stash that you've got, you know, however many skeins of yarn from, you know, wherever. So that's what the yarn feature there is. And let's see what else is in here. Ooh, favorites. I use friends. You can, like I said, it's supposed to be like kind of social, and I don't use it socially very much, but you can be friends with people. And there's groups, usually for local yarn shops, which I find some of them use more than others. You know, you can put like I said, you can really get as like into this as you want to. So you can kind of figure out what these are. What I use mostly is favorites. So favorites is where you can save either favorite designers, and there's Angela, and we got Fiona. Y'all, if you follow my page, know they're my friends, and I love them and their stuff. And I also so you can save either designers, or you can save, what I mainly save are like individual patterns. So like, I want to make this pattern one day, so I favorited it. And so then when I'm trying to figure out, you know, like when you have new yarn and you're like, what am I going to make out of this? You can actually search through your own patterns to, you know, be like, oh, look, see this person here, perfect example. This person made a hat. And I actually don't know this lady, even though I really appreciate her doing this. Made a hat out of some yarn that she bought at Atomic Fibers, I believe. In Oak Ridge, and it was my yarn. Oh, it's so cute. What a cute picture of her 2-year-old. And so she linked here in yarn that she used Crafty Housewife Yarns Merino Art Yarn. So that's how, and then this was the pattern she used. So now those of you who know that you have that, it's like 75 yards, and you have like one skein of either my yarn or just, you know, some funky yarn you have that's around that yardage, you could click on this pattern and you could make that hat. So that's a perfect example of how that is very helpful. So I had saved that just because I was very excited about it in my favorites. And you can see other, like I said, a lot of different patterns I've saved. So the main thing that I feel like most people use Ravelry for are patterns. So let's get on to that.